Coming up, we'll tell you about this year's Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at the Magic Kingdom. Coming up next. This is the DIS Unplugged, episode number 660 for the week of November 12th, 2013. The DIS Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, John Magi, Kevin Close, Teresa Eccles, Kathy Whirling, and, of course, back in the production nook, our producer, Dustin West, along with associate producers Shane Thomas and Greg Williams.
Greg Willis.
Greg Willis. Mm-hmm. Or, as we also call them, Sean Thompson and Craig Williams. So, ta-da! The lovely and talented. All right, so we're going to talk about this year's Christmas party. And look, I'm just gonna be upfront. I was in a bit of a mood last night, so I don't know if that. Okay. All right. I don't know if that kind of skewed my impression of the party last night, because I thought it was boring, and I thought it was what I've seen every other year. It felt less. I felt a lot more energy and excitement at the Halloween party. Mm-hmm. I thought this just didn't have something. Something was missing.
Could it be the fact that it's the beginning of November?
Well, it could be that. It absolutely could be that.
And 100 degrees out?
No, it wasn't that bad.
We went Friday night, and it was much cooler, so you really did sort of feel like you were in
It's going to
the
be
mood for that.
67 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
but am I alone in this?
Who else went? Did you guys all feel the same way?
Everybody on this side of the room went.
Okay.
Well, we were bored last year. That's why we didn't go this year.
Well, Teresa and I went Friday night and last night, and I know I said to her last night that they really need to do something with the parade. It's the same old
Yeah,
parade.
this is. I literally felt bored last night, and I thought that the Halloween party. Is this me making that noise?
Yes, it's you.
We
And I know
figured that out earlier.
every time it goes off, you do that thing where you dart your eyes around the room.
Who's doing it? Oh, it's me. But no, the parade. The fireworks are always great, but still, it's the same thing.
I always find that.
I'm sorry. And then I thought what they added holiday wise to the Castle Projection Show, Celebrate the Magic, I thought was lame.
I didn't like the projection show at all. It
No.
I was like looking around to see if I knew people around me because
Well,
I
it was-
wasn't looking at the castle. It was like,
They were supposed to have something from Frozen.
Yeah.
As part of that show, and it wasn't ready or something, and they just didn't do it. So it was just this very anticlimactic ending.
Because you had to start it with the Magic Band.
Well, at the end of it, when people didn't realize it was over, so you had this smattering
Yeah.
of applause.
They did the same thing Friday night.
it was weird.
bad.
It was real. It wasn't really. It didn't flow right. It was like everything was not connected to the other, and it just
No.
was like.
I always
look.
find the Halloween party has the added attraction of people in costume. So even if you're doing nothing, you can stand and look at people and watch people go by and see what they've dressed up as. Like,
Yeah, but this is just, I don't know. This was missing something bigger for me. I don't know.
We did you do what's now the Jingle Cruise?
No, I
Did you do
didn't.
that? We thought that was a nice touch with the little things that they've added to that.
At first,
for
I
the
didn't think
holiday.
I was going to like it because.
So this is Jungle Cruise with a Christmas overlay.
Yes.
Yes, they've turned the little boats. They give them all names like Mistletoe Mary, and they give them all little Christmas names, which I thought was a nice touch. All the little people, no, not little people. I'm going back to that crap. All the people that worked there had little hats on, the Disney hats, like Santa hats, but in khaki. I thought that was fun. Decorations were
And
nice.
they changed their jokes.
The jokes I thought were good. Craig, you didn't like them?
What? No, I didn't. I didn't like
Good to know the assistant producer's paying attention, huh?
Say what?
I saw your post on Facebook.
I didn't like your description of the little people in their little hats.
Okay, I'm trying to get away from that.
They're Jungle
That
Cruise
beside the point.
skippers.
I
And
like-
they have
okay, I like the skippers.
Safari Santa hats.
All
Did
right,
you like
let's-
their?
I feel tension.
I know, really. Let's
Did you
bring
like
it down
their
a peg.
jokes?
Okay, I've been on it 5 times now.
Okay, whose chair is squeaking like that?
That's like Craig's.
Mine.
It seems like every time you move.
Yes, every time you move.
So I've been on 5 times. The first time I had an older skipper. He wasn't into it. It wasn't that great. The second time he was a little better because he was a little more into it. The third time, the one that's on our daytime video, he was very, very into the script. He had fun with it. I mean, it's exactly like the Jungle Cruise on a normal day. If your skipper's really into it and he or she wants to give a good performance, then it's going to be a lot of fun. But if they're going there like, oh yeah, I'm stuck on a boat, I'm going around in circles, then it's not going to be anything special.
They shouldn't be on the Jungle Cruise then.
Well, I
Exactly.
think also the people that are the guests on there can make or break it too sometimes.
Yeah.
If you got to interact back with them, I
The
think
Jungle Cruise is something anybody can do. So I want to know more about the party. I'm interested from you guys in the back if you had the same experience Pete did. Did you guys think it was boring?
I didn't. I enjoyed it. I think it's. I like it better than the Halloween party. I just connect more to Christmas. It just feels better to me. So
as a holiday, so do I.
Yeah.
But when I'm comparing the Halloween party to the party last night, I thought the Halloween party, I felt much more of the atmosphere. I felt it just seemed a lot more.
it's 2 different parties.
The Halloween party has the added bonus of giving you a reason to explore the rest of the park with all
Candy.
the candy stations. I mean,
Whereas-
I know this has the hot chocolate and
But
stuff.
Yeah.
everything takes place on Main Street.
But that's the
basically,
thing,
right?
and Main Street was impassable most of the night last night. It was awful.
Do you think that could have? I know for me, I'm used to going when the park's pretty empty, and both times that we've gone, it's been very crowded.
Yeah.
It's like
Friday
holiday.
night was sold out.
Well, you went
Yes.
Friday night, the first night that was sold out, and then Monday night was Veterans Day, so you probably had a lot of people who were, off from work. and
Right.
So that probably added to it.
I like it
crowds.
because it puts me in the mood for Christmas. I want to go home and decorate. I mean, living
but
in
see,
Florida,
this is
I
the
think
thing
that-
is, this year I'm really excited about Christmas. I never know how I'm going to be. So some years I'm like, oh, I can't deal with it. This year I'm really into it. I'm really excited. I can't wait. So that's why I was like, okay, why do I feel this is boring? I really didn't enjoy it last night. I just didn't. I may go back again because, like I said, that's why I wanted to preface this by saying I was in a bit of a mood last night, so that could have affected it. So
I'm not going to take this. I don't want to take this on a tangent, but we were talking about this on the break. We went to the last day of Food and Wine, Kevin and I, and we were a lot of people in town, and it was one of those things where as we walked around, we met people and we talked to people. We had a great time because of the people, but Food and Wine doesn't excite me anymore. And I know you guys love it.
Love
I think
it.
it's great. It's just not that exciting for me. So I can understand what you're saying about the Christmas party. I think a lot has to do with who you go with. And
I
what's
think
going
it's a
on
good
around you.
family event for sure. Like you want to go. I resonate the Christmas party. My family would come down in December to see my sister and I, and that would be our Christmas celebration, going to the party and doing that. So it means more to me in that term. But like last night, we were going there for working, so I don't know if I could have an honest opinion about it because all we were there to do was film and like experience it. But
Well, was it like you said, the only difference was the Christmas overlay?
Okay, Kathy and I
castle.
went both ways. We went with friends on Friday night, and we went for our job last night. So we have experienced it both ways, and I enjoyed both. Friday night I enjoyed because of the people I was with, and it was more interacting with them and the snow, and we talked about Christmas, and we had a good time. Last night when I went, I noticed more details that I didn't get the first night. I mean, the music I didn't realize, and they've probably done this every year. The carousel plays Christmas music when it's going around versus the regular music. I never noticed that before. I noticed it last night. Also, I noticed there's only one kind of cookie this year, which kind of bummed me out.
That was really disappointing.
That was
'cause
very
but it was
disappointing.
sometimes they have
very
sugar-
good though.
Well, it's
It was a
snickerdoodle.
snickerdoodle.
I don't really like
It was
those.
a chewy snickerdoodle, but last year or years past they've had chocolate chip
And sugar.
And sugar.
How many
and the hot
locations?
chocolate was very good too.
It is good hot chocolate. Yeah.
How many locations were there for cookies?
I don't have a map in front of me,
Oh, I
but there's
have
at
a
least
map. Hang on.
8 or 9, I think.
They also
wow.
had
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
they had sugar-free cookies because I got sugar-free
Yeah, you
cookies
do that
last.
thing when you ask for sugar cream. That's
But
cool.
the sugar cake cookies were bright red and green, so they were loaded with dye. So
Yeah.
you don't have any sugar, but you got dye number 6 and 15 to put into your system, which I thought was funky. They were also gluten free, right?
Yes.
So there's
So they were
1, 2,
sand
3,
free
4,
and
5, 6,
sugar-free?
7.
They
Yes.
tasted like sand and
there-
cardboard.
You had a choice of one or the other.
Oh, okay.
There were seven cookie locations, and we
see,
got a
that's hard to
cookie
pull
on our
off.
way out, right at the end
Yes.
of Main Street. Yeah, they passed.
And also, as is the case with all these parties, a number of the attractions are also open, along with restaurants. And
Were there restaurants open?
yeah, Casey's was open.
Cosmic
Casey's,
Rays.
Cosmic
Cosmic Rays
Bills.
was open. The lunching pad was open.
Good. In years past, they weren't. There was like one place open. It
No,
was
no,
only
they
Cosmic Rays.
keep pretty much most of the park open now.
Wow.
I mean, it's what it seems like.
Are the we haven't been yet? Are the decorations beyond Main Street at
No.
all?
No, of course
No.
not.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they still won't decorate the back of the castle. Why can't you put lights on the back of the castle? It looks ridiculous when you're coming through Fantasyland, and you look at
Put a little more on
Yeah,
this year, though.
they did on the turrets, but not the
they-
whole back of the castle. They
finish decorating
Yes.
the damn castle.
Especially now that you've got that back end of the park open. You know, we don't decorate the back of our tree, but it's against a wall.
right.
Right.
You know?
And this is what I was saying to Dustin last night was that,
Yes, we do.
you know, if you didn't have Fantasyland open, if the back of the castle faced a backstage area, that's one thing. But it doesn't. There are people there. We can see it. We can see that you didn't finish.
What's funny is when, as you walk around the castle, there's lights and everything on the front, and then in the back, it's kind of, there's not lights.
It looks like they gave up.
And they just have this one little string of garland under Cinderella's table, or
No,
King Stefan.
It's ridiculous. You know what? You're going to do that beautiful job decorating the castle. Finish it. Finish it.
I'm also surprised they didn't at least take it back into the gate of Fantasyland, because I thought that would be a great opportunity.
Yeah, just going back to the decorations, the new Bell's Village, so Gaston's Tavern, they all have garland. That's
Oh, do
completely
they?
decorated. Inside
Okay.
Be Our Guest is decorated, and even in Adventureland, outside of Jungle Cruise, they have Christmas lights on the sign and all kind of that area. So they have stuff there, and they did the light thing again this year, like they do at the Halloween party, where they kind of shine colored lights at the trees and different buildings. They do projections like snowflakes and holly on some of the buildings in Frontierland and throughout the park. So.
Oh, they can do so much more in the rest
Yeah.
of the park.
Do you think the overlay of Jungle Cruise means that we might get the overlay of Small World and
I'm
Haunted
hoping
Mansion?
so.
I don't
That
know.
would be
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm hoping that we see it on more.
But I found
I'm of two minds about that. There's part of me that would love to have it out here to be able to experience it, but also that part of me that says, that's special to Disneyland, and that should just be there.
Does Disneyland do the Jungle Cruise?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Do
did.
they?
But did you
There's-
look at some of the decorations during the jungle, the queue at the Jungle Cruise?
Yeah.
I thought were very interesting. Instead of like holly and poinsettias, they had in the center of their greenery, they had orchids of a color that orchid never grows. But it was pretty. But it was this funky red but it was pretty. I think they did a real good job. They kind of kept it to the jungle theme.
I think for that Jingle Cruise, the best part of the overlay is the queue and the music and the decorations.
Yeah.
It has really nothing to do with the ride itself.
Right.
There's some Christmas jokes thrown in, and then like Trader Sam's has kind of like a Santa hat or whatever, some kind of
Right.
decoration on him. But it's more
I
about
think
like
the
the
jokes
queue.
are hilarious. I don't know, and I liked the renaming of all the boats. I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That was
Is
a nice touch.
the parade is still dark, right?
Yes.
It's not
It's- yeah,
I think
you-
that was also something that's I've never really enjoyed.
It's a daytime parade that
Right,
they're running
at
at night,
night, yeah.
basically. It's the Christmas parade that you see on television. They're just running it at night. There were a couple of changes, though, minor changes to the parade. Sean, you were pointing those out to me.
I think it was just a couple of the characters. I think Scrooge McDuck, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He's been in there in the past, and he wasn't this year.
They dropped the Donald and Daisy sleigh that normally had horses pulling it,
Yeah.
and instead they were on the Scrooge McDuck float. And that's the only thing I noticed.
And like I said, the fireworks were the same. Again, magnificent fireworks with the 180-degree finale, which is always pretty spectacular
Oh,
to
yeah.
watch. But they're the same fireworks that, and a big part of the, normally for a video like this, let me just mention this. Normally for one of these shows, we would have a package video, an overview video ready to go. Because we did this last night, did the party last night, we don't have it ready. We are working on it. But, it'll be up when?
either today or tomorrow, but still, we do have a lot of stuff. Craig has gotten up, as you saw, those park bench videos
Right.
from the party, and we're also going to have, he's got the fireworks.
Right now, the fireworks are up. The Celebrate the Magic, the Jingle Cruise at night, and then walk through a Be Our Guest.
You know,
and all that.
This may be a good opportunity for me to ask our listeners for some feedback, because we've been having an ongoing discussion over the last few months in terms of covering these parties. For us, like this year, we did a lot of really good coverage last year of the holidays in general. And, we were going to this party thinking, do we want to do another overview video if it's no different than it was last year? Do we want to even bother doing that? Do we want to bother putting the parade video up when we know it's exactly the same as it was last year? And, I know from my standpoint, like I said, when it just stays the same all the time, it gets boring for me. But I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. So do you guys like it that we cover it every year, or would you rather us cover it less often?
I hear the feedback I hear is that people love this stuff. You could not do enough video. You could not do enough, especially the live stuff. People they go crazy because they're at home and they need any bit of Disney they can get. So the more you give them, the better.
That's true, and I think maybe that's just how we have to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, this argument I had against liking the Halloween party is we go every year. So it is always the same, but that's not the case for everyone who watches everything we do.
Perfectly honest with you, Kevin and I are in that space where it's kind of like, I don't want to go to Food and Wine again. I don't want to go to a party again. I don't.
Do you remember how we used to feel
But
about?
we'll snap out of
Actually,
it.
I think it was you who said, "I don't think I can talk about Flower and Garden Show again this year."
Yeah, if I have to sit through another flower and garden show, I was going to gouge my eyes out with knitting needles. Was the exact quote.
Okay. I kind of feel when they're not going to do anything different. I thought for Food and Wine, I didn't think that it was anything different. Now, I went to Food and Wine and I got two things, because there were like 70 people in every line. So I had two things, and other than hanging out with my friends, which I could have done at Millennium Mall, it was no different than it was in the past.
I think we're human.
Well,
we get
right.
fatigued on stuff, and we get, so things don't change greatly. We have that attitude.
All right,
and I think that's fine.
Then let me throw this out to our listeners and our viewers. How would you like to see us cover these? That was the other thing we always think about is there another approach we can take to the way we cover these parties and events that maybe can change it up? So if you have any ideas for how you'd like to see us cover these events, podcast at disunplugged.com. The whole team sees those emails. Give us your recommendations. Tell us what you think.
Was there any? Did people have the ears on for the lighted
Yeah.
ears?
Some people, yeah. There
Yes.
wasn't. I wouldn't say it was abundant, but they were there.
They were everywhere.
Yeah. In
Really?
front of
Did you
us.
see a lot of them?
I think you were.
Yeah, we had a good
you were
amount.
just cranky because these guys are saying.
I think
Yeah.
there was
A lot of hats.
probably about 75 to 100 in front of us.
Oh wow! See, I didn't see that.
I had my fisheye lens, so I could catch all of them in front of me. So it looked pretty cool in the photos. But
And was it cool with the castle show? Did it do good?
I liked it during Holiday Wishes better because they did a lot of red and green kind of stuff to match what was happening in the show. So I thought that worked well.
Did you do
So-
the dance parties?
Did I? No.
Now,
I'm sorry. No, Dustin was motioning to me. That's why I was paying attention.
we did the dance party and then the parade right after. And Teresa asked me, now, do you think the characters that were in the dance party, now, do they go on the float?
Yeah, because we just saw Buzz in there just getting down to
He was doing-
single ladies
Of course.
dance.
Buzz is Buzz. Buzz has to do multiple things.
Well, then
If
I'm
he's gonna be in a
thinking,
dance party,
okay,
he's
is he
gotta
in the
get-
dance party? Because he just went behind the float, and we rushed back in. He was not in that dance
Yeah.
party.
Right.
Yes,
No.
but I mean, we just wanted to see if that was what they were going to do.
You would
'cause-
never see Buzz in two places because
Right.
there's only one
Okay.
Buzz Lightyear.
I will-
There's
That's
only
what I
one Mickey
thought.
Mouse.
I will tell you this: I didn't see any of the dance parties, but what they were doing on Main Street to warm up for the parade, I thought was really cool. They had entertainment cast members out there dancing with the kids. They had upbeat music, and they were throwing big inflatable balls around at
like
each other.
this.
Yeah, that was some
Yeah.
fun stuff I saw going on Main
And they
Street.
also honored some military folks while we were there as well.
Yeah, there was a group of about 10 Marines in uniform
That's great.
that marched down Main Street, and there was no announcement made. Usually they'll say something, and they weren't coming from the top of Main Street down to the hub. They were coming from the hub up to the top of Main Street.
Well, this week is limited time magic. They were doing some things with the veterans in the park, so maybe that was part of
So
it.
they got a nice that group of Marines got a very nice ovation as they walked down Main Street, which I thought was really cool.
And not to pimp my blog, but I will.
Wow.
Pimp my blog.
Do it.
I did
Hey, Helen Mirren.
I did a blog about the top 5 tips for going through the park, like some things to look for and to do. And, since we went to 2 very packed ones, to pack your patience, that, the lines were long.
Do you know how badly I want to punch people that say, pack your patience?
Like Kathy?
Well, I'm
Not you.
Want to switch your seat over?
There goes Helen Mirren under the table.
And, the whole iPad thing again, that last night I saw a new version that usually when you see people with iPads, it's with no cover. Last night I saw the guy that had the cover on it, so he had like double the iPad that was
You mean to
blocking.
take
I think you
Yes.
saw the same guy that I did.
Yeah.
Because we were filming the fireworks.
I wanted to kick this guy's legs out from underneath him.
I had a great
Merry
shot.
Christmas.
We didn't end up using it. Craig's put his video up, but I had this great shot. I was just shooting the fireworks for myself, and this guy just
Holding his iPad up over his head,
Literally right in
for
front of me.
15 minutes. I'm like, I hope the blood rushes out of your arms and you have to.
They recorded the
Well,
whole
the
thing.
same thing when people put, you stand there for.
And this way,
an
you
hour
can't be an
before,
idiot standing there filming fireworks with an iPad up like this.
And the next thing you know, somebody puts a 4-year-old on their shoulders.
Well, okay, you know what? I can almost forgive that because if your kid can't see, okay, I can almost forgive that. But this whole thing with we got to hold our iPads over our heads like morons.
And I would also say one of my tips was to read the park map before you get there. Or as you come in, look at the park map, because we were there 2 nights. And the first night we saw like half the park, and then the second night we saw what we didn't see the first time. Go over that map and decide what is most important for you to see.
And as soon as you get into the park, especially if you're getting in there around 6, 7 o'clock, when they're closing the park to day guests and moving them out, just get off Main Street as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Just get down Main Street and get somewhere else in the park and let that, because it is just crazy. Even just trying to get going down Main Street to get into Casey's.
Yeah.
It was a real challenge just across the street.
How about merchandise? Any good Christmas merchandise available?
I did see some. There's 5 locations you can get your merchandise: the Emporium, Frontier Trading Post, Heritage House, Big Top Souvenirs, and Mickey Star Traders. There's a special pin, like there is every year. It's really pretty. Little
There's several pins, and some of them are supposed to be in short supply.
So food and beverages. Sleepy Hollow has seasonal flavored waffles with soft serve ice cream. Main Street Bakery has Mocha Coca cupcakes, and Westward Ho has peppermint brownies. So you can get a few different things that you can't normally get.
Oh, and the sorcerer cards, if you collect those at the firehouse, you show them your ticket, and if it's a paper ticket, they hole punch it, and they're giving you this year's Christmas sorcerer card and last year's.
And last year's, I wonder what that was. She didn't really
I don't
tell
know.
us.
But they were doing that
She
the
got
other
2
night,
cards.
too.
Yeah.
Wow.
You were talking about special like candy treats and stuff that they're also doing. Did anybody notice in Town Square that it smelled like licorice throughout the
Had
entire?
a weird smell there, yeah.
Like throughout the entire Town Square, it smelled like the
Was
candy
Pete
shop.
with you the whole time? Well, maybe it was a licorice. Oh, stop. Make me leave. Go ahead. Okay. No,
Turn
I
over,
did,
Mike.
I did smell that too, though.
Cut her mic off.
Cut it off. Banish me.
Banish you from court.
Go home and do laundry.
Yeah, I got to do that.
Overall, though, I like the party. It put me in the mood for Christmas.
Like I said, it very easily could have just been the mood I was in last night. My back was really, really, really bad.
We all know
And
that.
nothing I was doing.
Any
nothing
discomfort will affect your
Yeah.
day for sure.
And-
Absolutely.
It was like, it's really getting old.
the snow seemed in more abundance than
Yes,
last
it
year.
Yeah, it
did.
did.
Yes.
Everybody notice that? It seemed like there was more of it, and it came further down
Yeah.
Main Street
They were-
towards the front.
They were
make
doing
that
that,
noise?
at the race on Saturday. They had them. I was impressed with Disney that they bought these. I don't even know what you call them, but they took the snow machines way up in the air, and as the runners were running, it was snowing.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it's like, now that's really cool. And through the race, they would turn it back on, and it would accumulate on the ground. And it's
They'd
like, okay,
fall and slip.
no, they didn't do that. But it's like, okay, that's really nice that they did that.
Here's some soap on the road and in your eyes while you're trying to run. Merry Christmas. Love Disney. So, yeah, like I said, I fully cop to the fact that my state of mind yesterday could have affected my view. That's why I wanted to be upfront about it, talking about it. But
Christmas time is here.
I mean, how about you two, Sean and Craig? What do you think?
I love it. I don't think it's something that you have to do every year. I do, but I don't think you need to.
Craig already hates his job.
The only thing
I love it.
The only thing that changes seasonally at Disney is the narrators that they have for Candlelight Processional. And I like that because everyone tells the story a different way. Same story, but different meaning. With the Christmas party, you're getting the same exact thing every year you go. If you haven't done it before, haven't done it in a couple of years, it's perfect. Go do it.
But is it a bad thing? It's not.
That's why that's the whole thing. Isn't Christmas about tradition?
Yeah.
Isn't Christmas about having these things you do every year?
I must be one of the weird people that love it the same.
I
don't want the parade to change. I think it's
every year.
fantastic.
I want to be able to see those people marching. I want to be able to see the little
Okay.
gingerbread people.
Wow, she's all.
I think they could have
she's all worked
changed it
up.
up, though.
The only thing that ticks me off.
Do that again, gingerbread.
The only thing that really ticks me off
Gingerbread
is Santa
people.
Claus. I don't like Santa Claus.
You didn't like Santa?
No.
He was a little creepy.
Gonna leave McKee outside your
Well,
door.
His beard matched the fur on
Yeah.
his suit. We were saying, like, if you go up to Yankee Candle, they have like a real guy with a real beard
Millennium
that he
Mall,
looks.
Santa.
Yeah.
That's Santa at Millennium Mall. This is some dude on a sleigh waving at you.
You know, we did. And I think the Christmas party is sort of what you make it, because Friday night we were on Pirates, and we were all singing Christmas carols as we walked through the attraction.
I was listening.
So we were like in the spirit of the Christmas party. So I think sometimes if you're with the right group,
Again,
you can make it.
You know, it's what you make out of it. It's what
Yeah.
you get out of it. But I think that there are people out there who don't want it to change. This is part of their tradition.
You know,
every
and that's-
year
that's
I
a-
see this every year, and it's great.
and
Never
I
thought of
think
that.
they can keep a lot of the staples there, but I think they can do things. You know, you want it to stay generally the same so that people that haven't been there before get to experience it. But then for the people who do come back every year, maybe throwing in a few
You get a new
things.
pin every year.
How many times will you go to the Christmas party this year?
I usually do the parties twice. I usually do them once as to cover them and once just to go and do it.
I think people who don't live here would kill to go to the Christmas party. And I think they love the videos, and I think they love every bit of Disney. I think what happens is when you do it, and the other thing is that when we go to these things, we scrutinize them.
oh yeah, that's our job.
These are under a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
It's very rare that anybody goes into Disney and just has fun. We're always working, so every detail is noticed. It's tiring to do that. After
Can
a
be,
while.
yes, it absolutely
And
can.
I don't mean I'm tired with my job. I just mean
Right.
I understand it
We
completely.
do that when we go, and you have to go and do a restaurant review.
You know,
sometimes you think I'd just like to
against-
have a good meal and to enjoy it.
You know, for me,
Sometimes.
I've trained myself with hotel reviews. So even when I'm traveling, having nothing to do with the business and, just on vacation, I'm picking apart hotel rooms.
right.
And it's like, just
I think the thing that
fun,
made me
Pete.
realize it,
No.
we walked into a restaurant
No,
one day,
I won't.
and I thought they need to wash this front door. And I thought, okay, you got to stop that.
Just enjoy the
Let it
moment.
go, right? And but I think part of the attitude about the Christmas party, what he's saying, is because it's very hard to do that. You walk in the front door, and you already want to know. Do I think this is better or worse than last year? Is it different? Is it the same? Does that decoration look tired? Does Santa Claus look different than he looked last year? Which character is not in the parade? Which character should be in the parade? After a while, that becomes, I guess tired is the wrong word, taxing. It's hard to just walk into a place. I went to Epcot for the first time in months the other day, and all I did was spend time thinking, oh, what's different? Look what they did. Oh, look, Cub Cool is different. Oh, look, there's the Starbucks. And I think that gets that's taxing.
We need to get over that.
Pete? What could they do? What do you think is a thing they could do? Maybe from last year to this year, could just finishing the
send
decoration-
Teresa down the Tinkerbell wire. That would amuse me.
That would be-
Oh
That
my
would be
gosh!
different.
Friday night, we were right on the bridge,
yeah.
and Tinkerbell went right over us, and she was like waving at us. That was
Yeah.
awesome. That was
Yes.
that was cool. Was
I think you should do that.
I'd rather be
the Magic Kingdom, I remember when I was a kid, the Magic Kingdom had live performances around the holidays.
Yeah.
They brought in performers, and I'm not talking Disney cast member performers.
That would be cool.
Right. And I think to myself, I know this is going to date me. I really do. I saw Eric, Carmen, and Bread at Disney World when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
They performed in some, and it was for around the holidays.
Yeah.
And it was one night only.
That would be cool.
And I think to myself, that would be great. I know that dates me. I really do. I'm old.
But they have this cavalcade of young Disney stars. Why can't they do that?
Right.
Why
And
can't
I'm
they
not
bring
talking
in-
you have to do a week long or you have to do 10 days. But what about having the folks who do Candlelight Processional who are performers do a performance elsewhere in the park? I mean, I remember the people, downtown Disney used to have the jazz club. And we saw some great people there. We saw some great people on the West End stage at Pleasure Island. I remember when people used to perform in the park, and I think to myself, why have we gotten away from that?
Well, there was
That's a good point.
A couple weeks ago, one of the limited time magic was they used the Diamond Horseshoe, and they had like an ongoing show from 11 to 4 in the afternoon, and they had Miss Blue, and they had a magician, and they had the Cadaver Dans. It was awesome, and in that space, it was set up to run for all those hours, so you could come in and watch a little bit of it and leave. They need something like that in there all year long.
When I was younger, the Diamond Horseshoe Review was the toughest ticket to get in the park. It was free. It was a show that was free, but you had to have a reservation. And if you weren't there before, like an hour after rope drop, all of the reservations were gone. And we used to make plans. We're going to get up at like 5 o'clock and be at the park and try and get in to see the Diamond Horseshoe Review. And I think they've taken away some of that. It would make it more special to me if I thought, I'm not talking, we don't have to get Barbra Streisand and Celine Dion in there. Just somebody.
Selena Gomez, somebody. Yeah.
Was there a stage show at all? Was there a Christmas stage show?
Yeah.
There
Oh,
was.
yeah, there always is.
How was it? Was it okay, or was
It
it?
had Stitch
It's
in
awful.
it.
Yeah, I hate to say
I
this, but I
loved
think
the last
most
one
of
we went to see. The
I mean,
holiday show.
It was cute. It wasn't earth-shattering. It wasn't like, get me down front, I got to get closer. But not like the little...
It's
There's-
awful.
Then there's that awful Buzz Lightyear show. Is
Celebrate the season, the Castle stage show, and the Tomorrowland one. They're both awful. Back in 2008,
Hey.
I think that was the last year they did the Night Before Christmas.
Yeah,
in
that was much
Tomorrowland
better.
when
and
they had it.
I want to be clear here. The performers aren't awful. The performers are wonderful.
Right.
They're given awful stuff to
their
work with.
material is bad.
Because I was watching that Buzz Lightyear thing in Tomorrowland. I'm watching those dancers, and those guys were really,
Yes,
really
they
good.
are.
And they're working.
And they are working, absolutely. And so are the
I would agree.
characters. And so I want to be really clear that it's not the performers that are failing here. It's the material they're being given.
But you know what? There was still a crowd, whether,
I think
We were
kids
enjoying
love
it.
that
We were
stuff.
dancing around.
Families,
The parents were enjoying watching their children.
Right. I mean, we're
dance,
not the
but-
audience for that either.
Yeah,
So
But
right.
also, look at the people who rave about the singers at the American Pavilion. I can't remember their names.
Voices of Liberty.
The Voices of Liberty. People rave about that. How good it is. And it's kind of one of those hidden things. But we've planned our afternoon around getting in there to see them. So I think that's the stuff I miss.
it's a good point. I would love to see them bring live entertainment into the park like that. Yeah. I mean, the only time I've ever seen anything like that has been during press events. Saw Bare Naked Ladies.
I hate to keep talking about when, in yesteryear, but that was a big thing.
Yesteryear.
I wonder-
Harken back to a simpler time.
Right.
I was just thinking, I wonder if in the future they'll ever incorporate the magic bands instead of the wristbands. Just thinking about like different checkpoints
For what?
for
the
crowd
parties?
control to
Oh yeah,
get into.
I think for sure.
Instead of giving people the plastic wristbands, just have
Yeah.
it built onto your
Oh,
magic
absolutely.
band.
I just
If
can't
you
imagine
haven't
that would
paid for
add
the
so
party,
much
they can
time.
electrocute
Yeah,
you.
I don't see how they manage that.
I also noticed something yesterday.
I missed what
with-
Sean said. Go, Sean, what did you say?
That would take way too much time to scan everyone's band to
Yeah.
kick you out of the park. I mean, it's got to be a visual quick. You're
You
not
think
supposed to be
so?
here.
I think that
Yeah.
if you had the
Oh, if
right handheld equipment, you could easily get.
I don't know how that would be
But
any
it's
quicker than the
much easier
turnstiles.
when you're walking by and they're like, hold
Yeah,
your
just hold your wrist up. Yeah.
Another thing I noticed with the magic bands, this being the first year that they're using magic bands, we had printed tickets online, and we had to get a special cast member, a special guest relations cast member to come in.
Raise your hand. They raise their hand.
Yeah,
and-
that was.
Oh, you've got paper.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people go, paper? What is
That's what.
this?
Yeah,
You got
they did.
paper. That's what I was. It was retro.
So, but you guys, Craig and Sean, you guys enjoyed the party?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to go again probably when my sister comes near Disapalooza. So just to enjoy it.
Yeah, I
Just
think
go without a camera and just have
You
fun.
know, I remember my family, mom and Kevin and Lisa. And
I have a
Bridget.
feeling if you go just to have fun, you're going to have a much better time.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
And I think the thing to remember here for those listening and watching is that it's not that this party isn't enjoyable. It
Right.
really is. And it puts you in the Christmas spirit. It's just our personal experience and where we've been after doing it several years in a row and it not changing. You know, if you're on, like you've been saying, if you're on vacation and this is your chance and this is your Christmas holiday,
Right,
vacation,
absolutely.
you're going to have a great time.
Yeah, you know, look, yesterday I was just really annoyed with my back. It's just been such a challenge, and you know, I was just frustrated with it yesterday, and
hard.
nothing. You know, when nothing you do really helps, and you just got to live with it.
Kevin has that with his knee. And
I
it's
mean-
times when it's like, you know what?
I don't
can
care
you
what
do?
we're doing. Let's stop.
Let's just not.
I would liken this to people try and get excited about your job tomorrow. Oh, good, it's Christmas, so we put the
Hey.
Christmas tree.
My boss is there. I get excited about my job every day.
But you know what I'm saying? It's different when this is, again, I don't mean to make this sound like it's worse than it is. We're very lucky to do what we do. But it's your work.
Yeah,
And, you know, it's hard to raise that much enthusiasm
sometimes. Yeah,
sometimes.
But there's some, you know, I'm sure a majority of listeners out there that want to know those details, what's changed, what hasn't
Right,
changed.
right.
And then there's the other people, I mean, that just want to go and have fun. But if we just
Yeah.
came back and said, yeah, it was okay, that's the end of it.
Well, I
there'd be
think it's, you know, I think it's important for me anyway to remember that, you know, I'm not doing this for me necessarily.
Right.
We're doing to cover it, tell our listeners, our viewers, our site visitors,
If we were
clients.
doing it just for us, we wouldn't go in November.
Really, that's
Yeah.
true.
Well, this was my
Well, I don't
sixth
know.
year.
I might.
This was my 6th year going to this party, and
Really?
yeah.
No.
08, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1913, or 2013, 1913.
Not to change
Back
the
in
subject,
time.
but Kathy was saying her daughter is going to celebrate her 10 years at Disney.
Really?
Katie's going to be there. Can you believe that?
Wow.
So congratulations, Katie.
Yep, she's getting
Congratulations.
older, but I'm not.
You're Helen Mirren.
It just seems like that time flew. But sorry to change
Time is
subjects
flying
so
by, but
drastically.
no, I think the party's been excellent.
All right,
every
so
year.
everybody had a great time at the party except for me, and that's just because I was in pain,
You're an old
crotchety,
crotch.
and
You didn't show it when you were there, though. You didn't
No.
see.
I was trying. You know, I really do try and keep it.
He has
He
a
just
brave
looked like
little
his
toaster.
regular crotch.
Believe me, no. Dustin
No, he
saw
really
it.
did.
Dustin saw
I
it.
didn't. We didn't see it.
Dustin saw it. I just
Well, he's there to shield the rest of us from it, I guess. I'm glad I didn't see
he takes
it.
the body blow. Yeah, he takes the body blow. God bless him. All right, so that's our coverage of this year's Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Like I said, we have videos going up all week from the party, so be sure to check out our YouTube channel. And if you have trouble finding it, just go to disunplugged.com. Check out the show notes. There is always a link to that and everything we discuss in our shows there. So we hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with you again next time with another edition of the DIS Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone. And remember, stay out of the damn lakes and decorate the rest of the damn castle.